Hey guys, welcome to my video. In this video, I want to talk about some of the most frequent questions asked about the Pi network. I think this is a great video for beginners who are just learning about the network. The Pi network can be fairly complicated depending on how deep you go. And one of the first things that people ask about the network is whether or not it's safe. And after investigating a lot about this project, I can firmly say that this project is 100% safe. Instead, it's based on a vision of creating a cryptocurrency that's used for transactions online. And that might mean online shopping, it might mean developing on the blockchain to create apps that run on the Pi network or Pi coins, and it also means that users like us can use the coin and also benefit from it. If you want to learn more about this, make sure to check out some of my other videos, but I just gave you guys a quick overview of what the coin is and what it can potentially be. In fact, if you do a bit of research about the project, you can see that it's 100% safe. The network was created by these three individuals who have a long history on the internet. Other than that, the network also has a clear data protection policy for anybody who's scared of losing their data. What I can say for sure about the project was that the company was incorporated in the Cayman Islands, and it was even valued to be around $20 million as early as 2020. Keep in mind that this is when the network only had around 3 million active users, and today that number is over 15 million. We know that the developers of this project, or the original creators of the project, are real authentic people, and their backgrounds are validated and also authentic. They all attended Stanford University. Some of them even published research papers in computer science and started their own company, and they all have the skills and expertise to produce a really good cryptocurrency. And another thing I can say is no one has ever lost any data or lost anything because of this platform. Instead, it purely looks like a gamble on cryptocurrency, and they're really trying to create a cryptocurrency that's used for transactions online. And if I'm being honest here, there's really no point to be suspicious of this project because you don't lose any money. Mining Pi doesn't really take any time from you, and we haven't heard about a single case of people's data being stolen or anything that's bad that happened on the network. If you guys want to sign up, make sure to use my invitation code MAGICTUNA. And if you guys still don't like the app after trying it, all you need to do next is delete the app from your phone. It's really that simple, and there's no point to overcomplicate this whole thing. I promise you, there's no ulterior motive from this company, and there's no secret government trying to control you using Pi or anything like that. That's not what I'm going to talk about, I promise, and this is not what this video is going to be about. The next question that people commonly have about the Pi network is how much will Pi coin be potentially worth? Mining Pi coins can be a slow process, especially when you start in the very beginning and don't have a lot of referrals. And it makes a lot of sense why people are curious about how much the Pi will be potentially worth. Now, I did do a video about this in the past, and all I really did was to calculate the supply of Pi, or estimate the supply of Pi so far. And from this Excel document, I was able to calculate a supply of 77 billion Pis. And after this, all I had to do was calculate or simulate demand. And I kind of wanted to do this in a simple process. I figured out the price divided by supply of common cryptocurrencies like Stellar, XRP, and also Bitcoin. And from there, I was able to use the same ratio and just plot it onto Pi. And after doing these calculations, I was able to arrive at a price of $1.60. Now, what this means for the average person with about 771 Pi is that your portfolio is going to be valued at around $1,220. This is great news for anybody who's mining Pi because mining Pi only takes about 10 seconds a day, and any additional time is really your own personal choice and your own personal decision to get engaged or get involved with the network. And if we move forward and use this calculation to predict how much you would have with other amounts or other portfolio of Pi, we can see that if you have 1,000 Pis, you would have roughly around $1,582. If you had 10,000 Pi coins, you could potentially have around $15,821. If you have 100,000 Pi coins, you could potentially have $158,000. Now, very few people are going to be able to have these type of numbers. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that everybody on this network will benefit in some sort of way. And all you really need to do to earn more Pi is to promote this project and tell your friends and tell your family. And this is because the more popular this project gets, the more unstoppable the project really is. Another name for this is actually called referral marketing, and it's one of the reasons why Robinhood and Weibo have such a big following. And unlike a pyramid scheme, everybody under this system actually benefits from using Pi. Nobody who uses Pi will ever lose money, but how much you get rewarded depends on how much effort you want to put into the network. And this really takes us to the next question, which is when will the Pi network be officially released? So if you're new to the Pi network, one thing you have to note is that this project has 3 phases. Phase 1 was really the developers trying to work out some kinks of the project, and phase 2 of the project is where we're currently at. This is when the developers are testing the infrastructure that they have built. And more recently, we were able to see that the network or the developers here released test Pi wallets for us to use. And this really allowed us to mimic transactions that will become real in the future. And this also takes us to the question of when mainnet will be officially released. This is when the cryptocurrency will be completely decentralized and Pi is actually going to have a value. Now there's various answers of when this will actually happen, but when I was browsing on the official Reddit page of the Pi network, we can see that the project is estimated to reach phase 3 in 2022. Now it doesn't get any more specific than this, but I think this gives the authors and also the developers here a lot of leeway into how much they can potentially do and whether or not they might run into delays of the project in the future, and I think this is a good estimate for the project in total. This also means that we're going to be able to mine a lot more Pi coins in the future, and we're going to have a lot more by the time the project is officially released. The next question that people have is, how is it possible for us to be able to mine Pi coins from our phone? And to really explain what's going on, we have to think about cryptocurrencies like Stellar. Stellar relies on the Stellar Consensus Protocol, and they operate differently from something like Bitcoin. In Stellar, the supply of XLM coins are pre-mined. This means that all the coins that are going to ever be available are already available, and these coins are simply released over time. And this is a fairly similar concept to what's happening on the Pi network. On the Pi network, every time you sign up, all the coins that you're going to ever receive are already pre-mined for you. And every time you sign on to the app to mine more coins, these coins are released into your wallet. This means that how much Pi coin you actually acquire depends on how active you are on the network. Even though these coins are designed specifically for you, you're not going to be able to acquire all of them unless you're active on the network, meaning that you press a button every single day. The reason the network does this is to make sure that people are continuing to engage with the network itself. And it also has the benefits of making sure that mining Pi is actually as simple as using your cell phone or laptop. This allows the Pi network to consume much less energy, and you don't really have to do anything or have fancy equipment, and it pretty much allows everybody to get a hand onto the Pi network and also to get their hands on Pi. So long answer short, you're pretty much not mining anything. Instead, you're earning coins from the network itself by participating in it. The next question that people have is, what am I going to do with this Pi once they are officially released? And this is a really fun question to answer. There's so many things that the developers here want to do with the Pi network, and it's really hard to fit them all in one video. But basically, they want to build a marketplace much like Amazon where people can sell products and services, and another person can pay for these products and services using Pi. And if you really think about it, this is pretty much its own localized economy, and you can pretty much do anything with this. Other than this, the creators of this project also thought of other ways to utilize Pi. Another way to use Pi is to have companies market their products on the Pi network, but they had to pay us in Pi. This means that these companies are going to have to buy Pi from us, essentially raising the price of Pi in the future. I think this is a really interesting way of utilizing a cryptocurrency like Pi just because of how flexible and how many use cases it can potentially have. And another way of using Pi, which I find really interesting and which I'm going to talk about in another video, is really using it as a platform for developers. This means that these developers can essentially create apps on top of the Pi network blockchain, and with that they can create applications that utilize Pi. And these include games, they include applications like Facebook, YouTube, etc. And what I think so far is that many of these developers are going to become millionaires from this process, because if they come up with any sort of decent application, this might make them a lot of money. Now this will really depend on how popular the Pi network gets in the future, but based on a lot of what I've seen so far, it looks like this network has a really strong community that's going to back up the network when it's officially released. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really wanted to talk about some basic questions that people ask about the Pi network. Make sure to check out some of the free offers below at no cost to you, and I'll see you all again next time.